Welcome back to this edition of True Crime Stories. I'm Allisa Habib. This is Robin Sachs, as you know. Our next case is from the files of the California Innocence Project. Guy Miles was convicted of a 1998 armed robbery in Fullerton. He had an alibi, but an eyewitness identified him in court. You're going to hear more about that in a moment. Years later, the real robbers confessed and said, Miles, this guy, had nothing to do with it. And yet, more than a decade later, he is still in prison. All right, here's something to keep in mind with this. Of the first 250 people who were exonerated by DNA evidence, 190 of them, almost 80% of them, involved witnesses who got it wrong. In some cases, they pointed to the defendant and said, he's the guy who did it. And some of those guys ended up on death row. Joining us now are Michael Semanchik and Allisa Bjerkhoel. They are with the California Innocence Project, the group that helped free Brian Banks. And now they're trying to free Guy Miles. It seems so simple to me, you guys. If two guys admitted it, why is this guy still in jail?
And it was a very simple case just like that, but the problem was the judge didn't understand what you just pointed out about the eyewitness identifications and about how there is scientific evidence now showing that there's a very serious problem in our justice system with these stranger eyewitness identifications.
Whoa, back up a second. The judge didn't understand eyewitness testimony. We do stories on the news but constantly about how eyewitness testimony doesn't work. What is that about?
Well, in fact, in his ruling denying Guy Miles relief, not letting him out, he said that the eyewitness identifications were very, very strong. And Mike will tell you about really how strong these were.
I mean, the identifications were, what they did to set them up, first of all, was the detective took six-pack lineups and he put a bunch together. And he took so he put more than one suspect in a six-pack, which is an absolute no-no. It's something that you're going to learn if you know your initial academy.
Or on CSI and Law and Order.
Yeah.
I mean, it's those pictures
Fox
that are,
11 News, because we've done the story.
Exactly.
But yes, yeah.
But in addition to that, he also was putting various sizes of people in the same six-pack. Various hairstyles. So he
stacked them though with the same defense. So he put two of suspects being the same instead of having six different ones like you're supposed to have.
So one suspect, 5 fillers, and the 5 fillers are supposed to look somewhat similar to what the suspect looks like.
And he didn't do that.
And he didn't do that. He would put 2 or 3 into a six-pack.
Okay, so that's the eyewitness testimony. We get it. We all know that now. But if two guys admitted to this, why is he still in jail? Their confession is there. What, shouldn't that just be, just like we saw Brian Banks, okay, good, you're done, see you later, get out, we're sorry.
And that's exactly how we thought that case was going to turn out. We really thought that Guy Miles was going to go home after we presented these confessions from the robbers. It was indisputed that these guys did the crime.
So what's up? What's holding it up?
It's actually crazy. There's another case that they're working on too, which is very similar, where it was where they absolutely were able to find out it was another person, but yet the Attorney General's office said you didn't argue for your innocence early enough, so we're going to not allow you to bring your motions because it wasn't done in a timely fashion.
But that sounds more like arrogance. That doesn't sound like the legal book that you guys are supposed to be doing in the legal system, right?
Right, and kind of, I mean, well, you're exactly right. And so Allisa and I, over the last couple of years, we actually were going around lobbying congressmen to change the timeliness factor because we don't think that there should be any. If anybody's claiming innocence, why should we have any barrier for them to access?
But is there a law that says there is? Is there some?
Yes.
It is a law. It's an actual law that says you have to claim innocence right away.
Right, and you know what? They have the right to have a speedy trial, but they don't have a right to have a lengthy factual innocence. It makes no sense. If you're really caring about defendants' rights, care about defendants' rights all the way through. What do we have to lose finding out years later?
No. What's up with Guy? As you sit here, what's up with Guy Miles?
Well, Guy's at the end of the road. So we are doing a march next April. Starting in April, we are going to draft a clemency petition for him, along with other cases that we've lost. And we're going to walk them from San Diego all the way to Sacramento. And we're going to ask, beg the governor for clemency for these clients.
That's your last thing. That's clemency. You can't get them out. You got to get clemency. All right.
Innocencemarch.com is where you can get more information.
Exactly.
We'll talk more about it in a minute. Michael and Allisa, we really appreciate you being here. You have something you want to give me that we're going to talk about. We're going to hold off. I'm going to show it to you. You saw Brian Banks wearing this T-shirt. See what it has on it? It says exonerate. That's pretty neat, isn't it? Still ahead, we're going to tell you how you can help the Innocence Project. Hang on. And there's even some cool sweatshirts, these and other items that they sell on their website to help raise funds. A lot of people asked me about that shirt he was wearing. They did. They saw it. He wore it to the workout, and they saw it.
But your mom
All right, there's the sweatshirt. That's why everyone's asking about it. When Brian Banks was on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, he was wearing the sweatshirt that said exonerate, right? He also wore it at his first tryout with the Seahawks. We saw it there again. Well, we have one, and you can get one now. The California Innocence Project is where you get it. It's the way they raise their money. They sell the shirts on their website. If you visit innocencemarch.com, Robin talked about that, you can join up for next April's Innocence March from San Diego to Sacramento, and you can sign a petition to the governor to give more attention and possibly even the clemency to some of the cases listed on the site, the one we talked about tonight. Learn more about it. That's innocencemarch.com. Anything you want to say about missed opportunities? We could talk forever, but before we leave.
We can't. I mean, I think that the key is that we all as a society need to be open-minded to the prevalence of these cases that just don't seem possible. And investigators need to translate that and be open-minded. And then without coming to conclusions first, I think if we started our process by being open-minded and let the facts lead to the conclusion instead of the conclusion leading to the facts, then we will be more likely to get the bad guys and keep the innocent ones out of jail.
And please protect our kids, those kids at Penn State. Robin, always a great job. Gives us some good insight, right? Thanks, everyone, for watching. Remember, innocenceproject.com. Nice shot, LA. Good night.